I don't see it.
Live from World Vegan Vision. We are today going to talk to a vegan entrepreneur, Vincent Gulino, who owns a Try Vegan, a meal delivery service, and has also a food truck. I'm Kalindi Bakshi at World Vegan Vision. I am a neuroscientist and co-founder founder of a plant-based, whole food plant-based meal company called Plantology. And Avinash and I will be talking to Vincent and asking him questions about his journey as a vegan entrepreneur. So hopefully, I know we are on Zoom, otherwise we would have been able to try Vincent's meals, but at least he will give us an idea about how he got into this, his journey, and what he is recently doing and future of Try Vegan. Okay, so Vincent, if you could please introduce yourself and tell us about something about Try Vegan. Try Vegan.
Sure. Yes. So my name is Vincent Gulino. I started Try Vegan back in 2015. So it's been quite a while. The meal delivery service actually came in 2018 in January. And the whole thing has just it's been incredible since I started. I started back in, like I said, 2015. So I had the idea for it in 2014. And just in those few short years since then, people back then were like, what's vegan? What does that mean? What can you eat? And for the world to completely embrace this plant-based movement, it's exactly what I saw back then. I wouldn't have quit my job and, taken this leap if I didn't see this was an inevitable future. And, here we are pretty much, you have Dunkin' Donuts advertising plant-based options. You have Burger King with the plant-based Whopper. And, like I said, it's exactly what I saw back then, but then people were telling me, the name of my company is Try Vegan. And people back then were telling me, don't use the word vegan in your company. You're going to alienate your customer. But that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to differentiate myself.
So you stuck to it.
Right. Yeah. I wanted to differentiate myself so that people knew exactly what they were coming for, getting when they saw my business.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, if you want me to walk you through it, it's been quite a ride.
Vincent, but why vegan and not something else? I mean, you said were you vegan, or what was the inspiration behind starting a vegan food brand? Because I know, like, back at that time, vegan food was, not what it is now. The whole plant-based industry has just grown exponentially, right? So why vegan? What was your...
Why vegan? Well, I myself have become vegan 8 years ago.
Right.
8 years ago in March. And immediately I saw like how the results, I woke up feeling more refreshed, more energized, my skin cleared up. I just liked the way I felt. It started as a week-long experiment just to give it a shot. And here I am 8 years later, and I'm still sticking with it. So it was really, I wanted to show people what it did for me. That's why the name of the company is what kind of hit me first. It was like a download one night. It was crazy. And the thing that hit me first was I need to start a vegan restaurant. I need to call it Try Vegan because I want people to try vegan. Because it embraces my exact mindset behind starting this. I understand that. I even understood back then that it's difficult for people to change their entire lifestyle, but just living my way of life, being vegan, I got other people, I introduced them to it. And, that whether or not they stuck with the vegan lifestyle, they went back to eating, they went back to eating meat or cheese, let's say, but they did it as a more informed consumer. They knew what they were eating, and they may not be 100% vegan now, but they definitely eat much less meat than they used to. And that's really all I can ask for. I understand that there's going to be people that just aren't going to become vegan, but as long as they eat less meat, that's helping in some way.
Right.
So what exactly happened 8 years ago that changed you to change? I mean, made you go vegan?
It was,
And what was it before that? And tell us something about what
The
you were
whole
doing at that
transformation.
time, your background in education and career and all that. Tell us something about that.
sure.
And really, what made you go vegan?
It was a whole combination of things, really. It was, so I went to college at Rowan University. I majored in business management and human resource management. So I had a strong business background. From there, I became a manager of Walmart upon graduation. So at 22 years old, I was an assistant manager of Walmart. And that really introduced me to business. You know, if you're going to learn how to, whether you agree with Walmart, you know, it's this
Right.
giant corporation or whatever, but they got to where they are for a reason. So, you know, you study their inner workings, what works, what doesn't. And, you know, I'm a student of business, and I'm also a student of, you know, sociology and psychology. And that was just a great way to learn what motivated people, how people work, as well as, you know, I came in fresh. I know who I am. I know my work ethic. I know how I interact with people. But the people there who worked, I don't say for me. I don't like that term. But the people who worked with me, um, they saw me as this college kid who, you know, just doesn't have a hard work ethic, whatever. And I had to earn their respect by, you know, working hard and
Right.
showing them respect and doing all those things. So that was a challenge. Um, and my diet was absolute garbage. I worked the overnight shift. I was drinking like 3 energy drinks a night, eating McDonald's. I was smoking cigarettes at that time too. So
Wow.
yeah, so I was like really burning myself out. Uh,
Right.
so during that time, you know, I really realized how aged I was becoming, you know, working as hard as I was. Because in retail, you're on your feet, you know,
Yeah.
all the time, in dress shoes, you know, walking fast to get from one department to another department. So I was really like beating up myself on top of my poor diet. So my girlfriend at the time was vegetarian, and we watched like, I forgot which exact documentary it was, but we were watching like Forks Over Knives and all.
Right. Right.
I saw one video on YouTube that really, you know, it really stuck with me. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a shot. So, like I said, it was a week-long experiment. I was like, let me see how I feel. Oh, I was lactose intolerant as well, so that's what also sparked it. So I realized like my body isn't supposed to process this, yet I'm giving myself lactate to process it. So, and then my joints were hurting. I just wasn't feeling right. So I decided to cut that out along with everything else. So, you know, I did that for a week, and I liked the way I felt so much that I just continued along with it. So that's kind of my how I went vegan.
Oh, great. So you were like motivated by your girlfriend and her diet and the films. Like in my case, it was I watched the film called What the Health,
What the health,
and
right?
I went overnight.
That one will do it definitely.
Yeah.
It's great watching, you know, all these documentaries that just reinforce kind of what you already know,
Right.
what you knew, and just also giving you some more information.
Yeah. So Try Vegan started as a food truck, if I can guess. So tell
Yeah.
us about that.
So so after Walmart, I became an assistant. I became it was like a co-manager at ShopRite. Um, I enjoyed it. Like if it was a Monday through Friday job, 9 to 5, I'd have no problem doing that for the rest of my life. But it's every weekend, it's every holiday. It's I worked 6 days a week from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Wow.
It was a 35-minute commute. So you can imagine what my quality of life was. And I was applying to every single job I could possibly do. You know, I'd get home at 1 a.m. I'd apply to jobs on Indeed.com until 3 a.m. and no one wanted to hire me. I felt entirely worthless. I felt completely worthless. No one wanted me. I remember there were multiple times where, you know, people are telling me like, you know, you're doing well, you have a good job, it's a great company to work for, which are all true, but they don't understand that I'm working 6 days a week, and
Right.
it's not easy, you know.
Yeah, the quality of life, right?
Exactly. And all the things you're responsible for, like every employee, there's over 200 employees, there's 260 employees, there's every refrigeration unit in that building. One time, a woman gets hit by a car outside in the parking lot, and I'm the first person on the scene trying to hold her head in place because it just hit the concrete. There's just so much going on, yeah, on a daily basis that, most people just walking in on a Sunday don't realize. And I was just getting burnt out. And like I said, no one was hiring me. There were multiple times where I just sat in the office and just cried to myself because I didn't know what I could do. Like I didn't know what to do. No one, no. I had an interview for a company for an HR position, and they were concerned that I wasn't office trained. And I'm like a dog. Like I'm gonna go pee in the corner. Like what? Office trained? I don't even understand what that means. Like there's an office in the building that I manage. Um, so nothing was going my way. And then all of a sudden I had this epiphany. It was in the middle of the night at like 2 a.m. I got home from a party actually for Halloween after a whole shift. And it just hit me. Like I need to start a vegan restaurant. I need to call it Try Vegan. I need to, have it be a yoga studio in the morning. And then it was just all these ideas. And that night I wrote down from like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., 3 sheets of paper on what this could be. And like I said, back then it was 2014, and I would have needed to get an investor to invest in me, which would have been a hard sell, especially considering I couldn't even get a job. And on top of that, where would I have put it? Because the vegan thing wasn't there
Right.
yet.
At that time, yeah, the vegan word, it was not a buzzword, right?
And there wasn't like a community like, oh, the vegans all live down the shore. They just didn't exist back then.
Right.
So, I wrote out a whole 40-page business plan. I was going to shop it around to investors. And then it was like April of 2015 when I had all this laid out. And then I was like, you know what? I have money saved up. I'm living at home. What I can do is I can buy a truck, convert it into a food truck myself, and then start that way. So basically, the first person I asked was my neighbor. I asked him if knew anyone who was selling trucks, and turns out he just bought a new truck and was selling two of his old shuttle buses that he used for his heating and oil company.
Uh-huh.
So he said, "Listen, you pay my guy to clean them out, and they're yours." So, couple $100, I had two trucks on my hands.
Wow.
Like, all right, this is bigger than me. I have to go in and I have to quit my job. So sure enough, that Monday I went in and I gave my 2 weeks. And like I said, everyone thought I was crazy. So I spent that summer, mind you, I have no experience in the restaurant industry or food service industry. I just know what I can do. And I knew that I could figure out what to do. So from May to September of that year, I put together this food truck from just in my parents' driveway, uh, just with two, like myself, you know what I mean? I did most of the work. I had a friend who's a plumber, and I knew someone who was an electrician, so that's all I needed. And sure enough, I had a food truck on my hands. So before the food truck even happened, I had a few like tent-based events, and I remember at the time I was dating someone, and she felt pressured because her parents are giving her pressure. Like, is this something that, he can support a family on? Meanwhile, I haven't even taken my first steps yet. I'm still an infant as far as business goes. And, everyone's already putting so much pressure on me. But sure enough, I had my first event. It was the Trenton Food Truck Festival in Trenton, New Jersey. And I made $600 on a Saturday. And I said, wow, it works. The money, the biggest win that day was knowing that I put together a truck that passed the health inspection.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was about to ask how about the health inspection? Plus, I'm assuming you were cooking meals for yourself before. So sort of like, did that get you in? Did you have a chef, or you just turned into your own, you turned into chef? What was, how did you manage all of that?
So I remember that was like a big piece of contention between me and my father,
Uh-huh.
I knew that 90% of the journey was getting a business out there and 10% was a menu. because you can pick up a menu on the fly. You can always change a menu. But he's like, what are you going to cook? What are you going to make? Because I'm not a chef. I'm someone who eats food and likes my food to taste good. But aside from that, I'm not a chef. So, I put together a menu, smoothies, obviously. Put together like a falafel wrap, veggie burger wrap, cucumber, avocado, tomato wrap, like just fresh, healthy food. So that's kind of how I put together a menu, and that's where that all started. So, yep.
That's incredible how, you all of a sudden from working 9 to 5 or three to 12,
Oh, yeah,
you just, that idea just, something sparked within you, right? So you build a whole food truck, and then, so from your first event, like how did things evolve for you? How did you sort of go
things,
on?
yeah, things, they progressed like a rocket ship. It was crazy what happened, because I don't know if you've heard of Loretta Winery. It's a big winery in New Jersey. And that's the first thing whenever told people I had a food truck, they say, "Oh, you have to go to Loretta Winery." And I applied for Loretta Winery back in like June.
Uh-huh.
And they said, no, they're full, yada, yada, yada. Turns out in October, they were having requests for a vegan food truck. And at the time, there was me, Try Vegan, Cinnamon Snail, and
Yeah.
something called the Green Radish in Jersey City.
Uh-huh.
And Green Radish stayed in Jersey City. Cinnamon Snail was more in New York, and they were
They're
doing.
in Brooklyn, yeah.
So I was the mobile operation. So I was able to do these events, and that's kind of how I structured it. So they reached out to me, and sure enough, I was doing Loretta Winery, which is, I was like, wow, they requested me now, how the tables have turned. And it was also a crazy accomplishment to be there, because you get there and, all the food trucks have a line. Little did I know that it was going to be a much tougher sell as a vegan truck, because I didn't quite have a line like they did. As a matter of fact, I did a few of their events, and it was like there was a force field around my truck. Every other truck had a line. My truck had absolutely nothing. My truck would have the occasional person walk by and go, "Oh my God, a vegan truck." And they were just so enthusiastic about it. But that was the state of it. It was a very vocal minority asking these food truck organizers to get a vegan truck there, but the demand wasn't there. Like I said, it was just a vocal minority. So it's such a tough. I'll tell you what, if I wasn't this resilient, I don't know how I'd still be here, because
Right.
I took a complete beating for my first 2 years. Initially though, I had a huge win, and that came when that's September of 2015.
Right.
I started the truck, and then the winter comes, and there wasn't much as far as events go, and I was doing like lunches, but I'm going all the way up to Jersey City, and I'm doing maybe $70, which is losing money.
Right.
Let's figure something else out. So I went and got my real estate license, which is something I always wanted to do. So first try, I passed my test. I become a real estate agent in Princeton. So I'm doing that along with trying to get the food truck out for that spring season. And I was sitting in the class to take the, sitting in that real estate class. And I saw on my phone that an event called Governor's Ball was happening. And if you're not aware of what that is, that's a music festival in New York City. And they have like 50,000 people a day. Kanye West is there, like big, huge names. So I'm like, let me apply. Let me see what do I have to lose? It's a free application. So it came around. I totally forgot about it. Then in must have been like February, March, I get noticed that I got into this music festival. And I'm like that's like getting into the Super Bowl your rookie year.
Yeah.
I'm 4 weeks in. I'm 4 months into this business, and I find out I'm getting into governor. So, food trucks are around for a decade, and they don't get an opportunity like that. So I knew that was going to make me or break me right there. I knew it was like, and it's like at work when you have when you have stress at work, you can always leave it. You can always come home and
Absolutely. I know myself being in that. I understand that. They say you quit. You are the only one who quit 9 to 5, and I said, yeah, to get into 24/7.
so the stress of like it's like a
Right.
tornado is coming for you, and there's nothing you can do other than just hunker down and figure out what you could do. So it was me and a ragtag bunch of friends. I was like, just reached out to like 7 or 8. I reached out to all my friends. I got like 7 or 8 guys to join me, and none of us had any experience doing anything like that. One person was a chef, so he had a bit of experience, but not like not like a food truck like that. So I get all the food I need that I think I'll need. We get there and it's day one, and we're just taking it. We're taking orders. People are ordering falafel wrap. We're handing it out, and at one point, we had like drunk underage kids waiting next to our truck for their food, and we're just calling out falafel wrap, and it's just chaos because they all order falafel wrap. So we were cleaning up that night, and my friend goes, "Hey Vince, you know what we should do next tomorrow? Maybe we should try taking names, like Starbucks does." And I'm like, "Oh God, we should take names. That's a great idea." So that's how green I was in this business, getting to an event like that. But sure enough, we muscled through, and quitting my job, I was like, if I get to one of those within my first 3 years of the business,
Right.
through the moon. And I did like 7 or 8 of those that year. So that was like, and I knew being first on the scene is what would help me out, and that's why I did what I did and jumped so quickly. And since then, those are my favorite events to do. It's like more money than I've ever seen in revenue. They obviously take a huge chunk, but I'm making what I made in a month, in a weekend, and I'm just like so unbelievably grateful that this is my life. I used to pay to go to these music festivals, like hundreds of dollars, and now
Right.
I'm going there, like I'm going there, and on my truck I have this sign that says, "Did you know?" And it's like all vegan statistics, like based nothing like I don't like the approach of you're killing animals.
Right.
I like did you know this? Did you know that? Because it's like a Snapple fact. It's like when people pop up the top on Snapple bottles, those facts like stick with you. Um,
True.
so it's like I'd be in this position, and I'm like, would anyone else I know want to be exactly here? And I can't think of anyone who would. But if I were to set up like a perfect scenario for my life, what would it be? And it would be exactly this. Like I'm big into electronic music, and I used to go to Las Vegas for Electric Daisy Carnival, Las Vegas. And I drove down to Florida with my food truck and a couple of friends to do Electric Daisy Carnival or Orlando.
Wow.
I'm just there, and I'm like, how did I do this? Like, am I putting this show on for myself to reward myself for the work I did to get here? It's like the things you think about when you're in that position is like something else.
True.
Yes. So that's been the food truck journey. And then if you want me to get into the meal delivery service, that kind of came after. So every winter I've started something new. Like my first one, I went and did real estate, and that was too far away from starting one thing, which is try vegan. So my next year came around, and I really wanted to get into clothing, like vegan clothing.
Merchandise, right?
Yeah, so I started a whole clothing company. I went and got screen printing equipment. I taught myself how to screen print, um, taught myself how to design an Illustrator, all these things. And so I started doing that. And that was a huge distraction because it's too far in the other direction, doing all that, sell the clothes. Now I find out and where I get an order, my designs are on the website, and someone else prints it and ships it out, which is a much better model. Because it looks like am I still here? Hello?
Yeah, you are there,
Yes.
but we lost a
We
few
lost you for a
seconds.
little bit, but you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So yeah, so I was doing the screen printing thing, and I was even like taking custom screen print orders, and that was just too much out of the way. Like I remember one time I had an event in Georgia. So I'm at this event in Georgia, I'm serving falafel, I'm doing my thing, and I get an order for clothing. So that means I have to go all the way back once I finish this event, print the shirt, and then ship it out like a week later. So that was just not the right move. So the next winter comes around, and a friend of mine goes, "Hey Vince, I have a couple of friends that want to eat healthier. If we paid you, would you want to make meals for us would you want to make meals for us as like a meal plan?" I'm like, "Okay, sure." So I went and I did that, and that's kind of how Try Vegan Meal Delivery started. And that has been the toughest part of Try Vegan because it's for my first 2 years, 2 whole years of doing that, I couldn't get more than 8 customers a week. 8 customers a week.
Oh,
So, but I was getting through it, and luckily I had the food truck to balance that out, and provide me the money I needed while that was losing me money. Uh,
Also, in that business, it's like a lot of logistics involved, right? For 8 customers, or even if you increase more, are you going to travel 50 miles that side or pay that for delivery? Like, right? It's like, I'm assuming a lot of
yeah, so I op-
hurdles.
yeah, so I opened up to Mercer, Middlesex, and Monmouth County, and I was delivering throughout there. And then I was doing everything myself. Well, I had help. I had help in the kitchen. Actually, at one point, this is how backwards it was. I had, like I said, 8 customers. I had like 14 items every week, so I needed like 4 people in the kitchen with me to get it all done, and then I'd go out and do the deliveries. And like I said, that's one of the reasons I was losing money.
Right. The
And
overheads.
and that was just a huge mess. And then so 2018, I'm trying to balance a screen printing company. I developed an app too. I have a Try Vegan app that I made, um, a meal delivery company, and the food truck. And the food truck's taking up all my time. It's making most of the money, which
Right.
is great. But the thing about a food truck is I can go to Governor's Ball one weekend, make thousands of dollars. The next weekend, I can have a cheerleading event, a cheerleading fundraiser, and everyone's going to the mac and cheese truck, and I'm losing money there. Or it could rain, and if it rains, I'm out. I'm just out. I'm out the fee. I'm out the money I paid for food, and I'm out the labor I paid for. So it's definitely getting it. Like I understand why my parents were so apprehensive to me doing this because I got into the worst business, like one of the toughest business models that are affected by so many things. And on top of that, I handicap myself by only being vegan. And I'm not a chef. So it's not like I can come up with amazing food. It was good food. People have told me, it's great food, but uh, it was tough. So 2018 was something else, just trying to balance all that out.
Right.
And then 2019 comes around and I really get kicked in the face. My in May, my grandfather passed away right after he moved in with us, and then less than a month later, in June, my father passed away of a heart attack
oh,
out of nowhere. Um, so that really took my life, my business, everything for an entire. Yeah, I was dropped on my head. It was just like, my father's one of the health as far as physical activity goes. He's one of the healthiest people I know. As far as his diet goes, he ate what most people would consider healthy. Um, but the thing is, I saw what he would eat at night. He'd have like the Italian cheeses and the Italian meats like every
Wow.
night. And those are the ones that,
That's the recipe for heart attack.
yeah, that's
Right.
essentially what it is. And, I try to tell him that. And, I would hope and pray that if anything were to happen, that would be the wake up call. Uh,
Right.
he just went down once and never came back up. So that was a huge blow to me emotionally, physically, financially, my business wise, everything. Um, so, I spent most of that year just home with my mom. Um, trying to figure out what our new reality was going to be. And then I still had my big events booked for later that year. But as far as like the short term, luckily for some reason, I just didn't have too many events to do. So I was able to process what was going on. And then the big events started happening again. I was getting back into the swing of things. I was doing the food truck thing. And then just by sheer whatever the universe has for me, one of my friends reached out to me. He was a chef in Philadelphia, and he asked if I had any food trucks because he was looking to start a food truck. And I said, I actually have two. I'm not doing anything with the second one. If you want to chat. Turns out he was the executive. We went to college together, and we lost touch. Oddly enough, he was at the first event I ever did. And so I saw him there, but then I hadn't seen him since until he reached out. And he was the executive chef at the best brunch spot in Philadelphia. And we got together, we talked, and I told him what I have. I have a meal delivery service, yada yada yada. So he pretty much became my chef after that. So we chatted and we started the meal delivery service up again. And he was all about it. He's getting back into cooking, which is what he loved. And I was getting, his food is so good. So we started working together. So 2020 hits, and I was actually supposed to start a restaurant with him in February in Trenton. And for whatever reason, when I was going to check out the spot, I had a key and everything. The property, we didn't sign a deal or anything, but
Right.
the person who owned the spot changed the locks when I was showing a contractor the location. And I called him, I texted him, no response, no nothing. So I'm thinking man, I really what happened? I wonder what happened. But I didn't think too much of it. I was just like, what, for whatever reason, I'll know why this happened. 2 weeks later to the T, the entire world shuts down.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks later. And I'm like, wow, I didn't expect the universe to show me why that happened so quickly. So all my events got canceled as well for my food truck. So I was able to spend the whole year focusing on one thing, which is something that I haven't been able to do. Because as I said, I had the clothing, I had this. I also wrote a children's book in that time. It's called "Mommy, What's a Vegan?" It's a really nice book.
Wow.
Great.
Oh,
Yeah, so I did that.
You have it around, hold it up.
I don't have it with me,
Okay.
but it's on Amazon. It's called "Mommy, What's a Vegan?"
cool.
Yes, so I had that whole year to focus on this one thing, and I was able to see things that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. Where I'm out trying to get the food truck going, and I have this event next week, and I have this and that. And the one thing about the meal delivery service is its scalability. Like I said, I can have one good week with the food truck. I can have a bad week the next week. If it rains, I'm shot. I don't have any business in the winter. So this is like my opportunity to really get this thing going. So throughout 2020,
And it's more predictable, right? Week by week, at least exactly how many units you're producing, and it's a much more scalable model.
exactly. So I was able to plan it better. I updated the website. I actually hired someone to do my marketing rather than me doing it all myself. And I had this chef who was able to help me with the food.
Kitchen, at least, yeah, you had someone within the with a culinary background.
Yes, and then he left, and he just had a third child, so he had to make money, and he wasn't making very much with me. So his brother had an opportunity, so he went and helped his brother for this entire year so far. So he helped me get started again, but I've been running it myself, literally myself. So what happened was I had, like I said, I had less than 8 customers, and I was doing everything myself. Or I had like 4 people helping me. I changed the model so that I can work easier. So I have one menu, 6 items, and it rotates every week rather than 14 items. So I can be there in the kitchen for 2 days. The first day I can make everything myself. Second day I can plate everything and ship it out. So I refined it so much so that, back then I wasn't getting more than 10 customers. Now I have, 30, 40 customers, and I'm in the kitchen myself. And I was just like, it's incredible how refined I made it so that I can be that efficient. Because, being on a food truck where you have to serve everyone so quickly and you have all this food to make, like it's all about efficiency and making a process. So now, I'm getting past that 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 plateau that I was stuck at for so long, not getting any customers. Now I'm actually getting customers and people are hearing about it and I'm gaining traction and momentum. And I started shipping rather than delivering to 3 counties. I started shipping with UPS. So now I'm delivering all the way up to Vermont, most of New York, most of Pennsylvania, down to Maryland and Washington, D.C., including Delaware. So that's really allowed me to scale and grow the business. So
what do you think happened? Like, what clicked and all of a sudden the business took off? Was it you being able to spend that, time in thinking, rethinking?
yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was my ability to finally not be so, my energy be so split,
Or distract, like, with so many things, right? Now you completely focused yourself in this meal delivery.
exactly. It was the ability to focus on this one thing and figure out the little things I could do to tweak it, down to just the colors on the website, what attracts people,
Right.
like all the minutia, and like I said, the process too. How can I make this so efficient that I can be
Efficiency, the back end in the kitchen, how do you make the operation run more efficiently?
right, right. Yeah. So, now I'm doing all that and I'm hoping my chef starts coming back to work with me. Because, like I said, people love the food. I love the food. Food tastes good. But I'm not a professional chef. And this person I work with, his name is James. He's like, if
Right.
I let's say I keep a third of the customers, right? He'd probably keep half of the customers. So it'd be able to like scale the business quicker, you know? And that's the thing too, my ability to, or the business's ability to retain customers with a subscription, like a subscription model. That's how you win, the Netflix and Spotify, $10 a month. People just, as soon as they get used to it and accustomed to, I have one customer that has like, that's been there with me for like 80 orders. So that's like 2 or 3 years
Wow.
that they've been with me. It's really, it's crazy. I go to like my analytics and I see this list of customers that have spent over $1,000 with me. And I'm just thinking like, what a beautiful thing. Like these people
Yeah.
appreciate what I'm building so much that they gave me over $1,000. And, it's one thing when like people would come to me at ShopRite or like Walmart and say, oh, this is great. This is a great store. It's put together really well. It's managed well, but it's not something I built, so I took the compliment, but not as much. Here, it's like people are complimenting me on something I created. It's
Your
like,
own story, right? Your own,
yeah,
your own story, and you're seeing that how people are loving what you're creating, right?
it's incredible, and
That's so much satisfaction that gives you the amount of satisfaction you get out of that. Nothing can beat that, right?
yeah, yeah. And there are times where like I'm so deep in it. Like I remember I'm on the food truck, I'm just making things and blah, 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 and whatever. And my cashier goes, "Hey Vince, these people want to know, like, they really appreciate what you're doing out here, and they say the food is great." I'm like, "Oh, thank you, thanks." He's like, "No, Vince, really, take that in." I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? I should take this in, like, because I don't give myself the ability to do that. It's just like, all right, on to the next thing." But there are people who really appreciate what I'm doing, and it's like, wow, like, thank you for allowing me to do this for you. So it's really just a great thing.
I had a couple of questions about the business. For example, have you thought of I passed by on Route 35 in South Amboy and I see a big billboard. It says "Eat Clean, Bro." Probably it's your competitor. I think they must be catering to the bodybuilders market. So, have you thought of something like a billboard or advertising like that in spots where it will be effective? I'm sure it costs a lot of money to advertise, but But yeah, I mean, to get your name out there is the main thing, so that people will think about it and try and then become your customer.
Yeah, I've Eat Clean Bro. I've had a few meetings with them.
Oh,
They're absolutely doing something incredible. He's doing thousands and thousands of meals a week. Um, as for advertising and where I put my advertising dollars, right now I don't have that kind of money where I could just.
yeah.
They're expensive. Billboards are very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
I've been focusing on Facebook ads and internet marketing where I can see, one customer cost me $30, $50, $100. So I can at least see
More of like targeted marketing, right? Like
exactly before I get into like the grand,
brand, right?
yeah, marketing.
Yeah, another thing I had noticed was there is a guy on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere. His channel is called Well Your World. He's out in Phoenix, Arizona, and he's doing cooking shows and showing people how to eat whole food, plant based. And what he's doing is he has also created a line of products along with that, like salad dressings and some kind of sauces and a fake cheese sauce, or a vegan cheese sauce, which is based on baked potatoes or boiled potatoes mainly. And he's doing pretty good in that too. So maybe you can think about something like that too, like creating a product line and then going in the same supermarkets where you came from. Because on these Shark Tank shows, also a lot of people come there and they say, "Oh, I'm in such and such supermarket, and I'm selling so many thousands of bottles already," and they get very impressed. So maybe that may be an avenue to. I'm sure you have already thought about that, but
That's what
just
I
just
was going to
giving you
ask.
my idea.
What's the future of Try Vegan? What are what are your plans? What are you trying to coming up with new products? I mean, what kind of products? Going CPG, which is consumer packaged products, which Avinash just talked about getting on shelves. So if you can, tell us what exciting plans you have for the future.
Definitely. So the answer to Avinash is yes. I've definitely thought about that. If someone said, "Hey, Vincent, here's some money, put this product in the store," I could do it tomorrow. I don't have the capital for it. It's all a matter of I've been doing this all myself, no investor, no nothing.
Bootstrapping.
Exactly. So uh, right now, like I said, the focus is the meal delivery service, making that profitable, getting revenue that way before I start venturing into the products and getting them into stores. Because I understand that that's going to be a whole nother thing. It's the goal. It's definitely the goal because it's the most basic form of business. It's you produce a widget, you put it in a store, you sell it. And it's Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, nothing crazy. Um, so I definitely want to get into that. Um, the whole reason I came up with Try Vegan and reason why I named it Try Vegan is because I wanted to be the name that people associate with veganism. So, that involves everything under the sun. That involves products and stores. That involves franchised, uh, franchised physical locations, um, everything. And I'm the person to do it. If I didn't feel I was, I wouldn't be so ambitious about it. Right now, it's just getting my business to the point where I can afford to do those things. Or someone says, "Wow, Try Vegan. I like what you're doing. Here's $100,000. Go start that restaurant." And from there, I'll be off to the races. Um, so yeah, I mean, Try Vegan. I want it to be the biggest thing in veganism. Um, it has the name for it. It has the person behind it. It has everything. It has, I
It has an amazing story behind it.
thank you. Even like as far as like products go, like I was in ShopRite for 2 years every day except for one day a week. I studied the labels, what
Yeah.
it to them, everything. So it's only a matter of time. I'm not stopping. So it's only a matter of time and capital before these things start happening. So yeah, that's what Try Vegan's gonna be one day.
And we hope someday we will see it, and very soon we will see Try Vegan everywhere.
I think that's the goal.
People need to try that, and also now with the exponential growth of plant-based industry, you don't have to explain people what veganism is, what is plant-based food, which has helped quite a bit, right?
Exactly.
I'm sure if with you with business wise, right, more people embracing that lifestyle, or also people being part-time vegans, people being flexitarians.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people from my meal delivery service aren't even vegan.
Vegan, they're not. Yep. Flexitarian is the new word.
That's exactly what I was going for. The vegans are they they're looking for me. Vegans are looking for something like this. Um, People who aren't vegan see it and they might go, "Wow, that looks good. Let me buy it." And to me, that's how you get them. You get them that way, where you give them something that looks so good they want to try it.
Right. But it's just also, it's not just people. I feel people start for health reasons. Some people, now with so much awareness about the environment, right, about the planet, with a lot of more and more awareness about your own diet, about the health of the world around you, people are at least trying, giving this a try. And also, like, with impossible uh, impossible meat, beyond meat, all those companies have come up with so much close to the actual right, the feel and the taste. So people are I feel people are advertising, right? People are now, those bigger companies are advertising for the rest. So definitely, like, ride the wave and take what comes with it.
Exactly. It's a growing market, and all the things you've mentioned is exactly why I saw it as an inevitable future.
Right.
People can get in through health. They can get in because they start caring about the animals. They care about the environment. There's just so many avenues towards it. And even like and the thing that got me, that really sold me on starting this business and really pushing forward with it, is I never saw myself becoming vegan. Never. Not in a million. Vegan? Are you kidding me? And,
Right.
now here I am. This is the owner of Try. You know what I mean?
8 years later, right?
It's crazy.
But I feel like, the cause behind it, and you yourself are you have modeled what you're selling,
Mhm.
something that you believe in and something that changed you. And I feel that's something that you feel from within, and that's what you're giving back to everyone. And it's a great story. You're doing something that's bigger than yourself, bigger than anything else, right?
Exactly.
And you're feeding people the right food. And
Yep.
just that itself is a big satisfaction in there.
Yeah. I mean, it feels good. You have people like at the food truck events, and like I said, I'd see the grilled cheese truck with a huge line, and the mac and cheese truck with a huge line, and just greasy food with long lines, and
Yeah,
you know, they're serving what people want, and I'm serving what people need, and
people need, and people should be, that's
lot
something
of lot
that's
of
the
the
food that's served, right.
lot of the food trends are also driven by the TV. I was a huge addict of Food Network for a while, and and I just keep thinking of you just always keep thinking about what you saw on the TV, and you want that, and you want to try this cheese and that cheese, and and that is a real. I think that they must be financed by these food companies too, uh, big time, to promote their products.
yeah, I always get like, it's so discouraging, upsetting. I mean, I don't even know the word. Like, so you have a company like Uber, let's say, or Uber Eats, and they've announced that they don't even know if they're ever going to become profitable. Yet you have investors giving them hundreds of
Yeah,
millions of dollars. Give me $1 million. That's all. $1 million? Are you kidding me? I'll change the entire planet for $1 million. And these companies like Blue Apron or whoever, like I read an article, they got another $400 million investment and they lost, $800 million. It's like how? It's crazy.
But companies like anyways Uber or Blue Apron, they were disruptors, right? In the whole, in whatever markets they disrupted a whole market and created a whole new sort of wave.
Yep.
Airbnb.
Yeah, so hopefully, Try Vegan will also do that. We wish that, Try Vegan goes to there and serves many, many people healthy meals, healthy plant-based vegan meals.
Yeah, disrupts the whole food industry. That'd be great.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's our mission, to reach, more people embrace plant-based or vegan diet, and for all the best reasons, all the good reasons.
Right. Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
so if your food trucks, how many meals can they do or minimum, how many meals they have to do for you to come out? I'm thinking of future, like when we have some kind of event, like 100, 200 people, is it possible for the food truck to come out there and do the meals?
Absolutely. No problem at all. I've done lunches where I've done 3 people, so
No, that won't be profitable.
yeah, I'm not someone who shies away from getting
Yeah.
out there and doing it. Um, so if I think, because here's the thing too, a customer at the food truck can become a customer in the meal delivery service, and then I just won. So that's one of the benefits now, because back in 2019, I wasn't shipping everywhere. So I didn't have the ability to turn Governor's Ball customers into meal delivery service customers. So now that I'm shipping, I have the ability to do that anywhere I go. So yeah, I'm ready to.
What I'm saying is that if you freeze it, then and just put it in a supermarket, then you can be even bigger. That's what I was suggesting. That if you can just get your food in one or two markets, that will be. I mean, and you don't have to cook special for that. You just take a portion of what you already cook and then put it there.
You're right. It is that simple. It is that simple. I could start doing that.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into.
And
Definitely.
you already worked in Walmart and ShopRite, and probably some people may be ready to help you.
Very true.
Yeah. And you just say you don't want to have any profit from them. You just leave it there and see if people buy it. Just try it that way for a few weeks.
Yeah, that's a way to do it. Definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of stores too. A lot of ShopRites. A lot of WalMarts.
Yeah.
Right. So hopefully,
Even within those big chains, it is only like certain. Sometimes the managers have some kind of powers, like they can carry what they want. Like if you go to Costco, some Costco don't have some product and some other ones have that. So it is up to the manager to keep what they want to sell, depending on the local area. So manager can decide whether they want to put your packages there or not.
so hopefully, Vincent, one day we will see you, and very soon we will see you in ShopRite, Walmart, and Costco too. So you have a lot of I'm assuming now that the spring and summer hits, you will be on the road with your food truck and the meal delivery also going. So now, winter of 2021 and 2020, the winter 2022, you will have time to think about that, expanding your meals to shelves, bringing your products on shelves.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
hope to see you there.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that now. Right,
Great.
it'd be that easy. Who knows?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for all your time and sharing with us your incredible story and your journey into this. And we really hope, we wish you a lot of success. And, we hope you serve
And
more
we
and
should,
more vegan meals to more people.
we should keep in mind that in case we ever have a big event, a big means a couple of hundred people or so, we can have a novel kind of food
Absolutely. Yeah.
meal option there, and we can have a food truck there. People
Yes.
look, there is a guy here in Edison. His father is owning a very big business building, and I think his father is a lawyer or doctor or something. But that guy went to Italy to learn how to make pizza, and then he has a pizza truck, and he used to do like a birthday and that kind of business. Just a business as a hobby, I think. but people do invite food trucks for their events.
Oh yes, it is. It's
Yeah,
especially last year
yeah,
it had been a big trend. Because people couldn't book bigger venues, so food trucks
and
coming into
and
their backyard.
there is
Or
a mall. There is a mall near here, Woodbridge Mall. Actually, it is the oldest mall on the East Coast. They actually charge people admission when they have a food truck festival.
Hmm.
You have
maybe
to just
you can go
you
up
have to
to
pay five
Austin.
dollars. You have to pay $5 just to get into that place.
Actually, Austin, they have big, just areas where they have food trucks. I don't know,
Yeah.
Vincent, you probably would know that. We've been there several times, and they are like, just they. They're called food truck halls or something, or an outdoor space, and maybe drive your food truck out there.
Actually, last year I went to Sandy Hook and I saw this empanada guy's truck there. So every day. So maybe you can see if any beach town wants to host your truck.
Yeah, that's a possibility as well.
Yeah, because beaches are a great place,
Hmm.
especially on weekends or whenever, all summer actually. But if even Sandy Hook allowed that food truck, then there is no limit to other commercial places like Asbury Park and Point Pleasant and all those towns.
Hmm. Absolutely.
I'm sure you have looked into that or not.
I've looked into quite a few food truck options.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's it's the thing is it's a different time now too. When I was
yeah,
doing all these things and looking out to these events, it was no one knew what vegan was back in 2016.
yeah. Actually,
Right, and now.
that was one of the questions I was going to ask. That what do you see in the last 8 years? What do you see that what do you see change in the world? Like, do you think it is going fast enough so that in the next 10, 20 years we'll have some significant population going vegan, like 5% or something like that?
Yeah, actually, back in 2017, I started this whole I was trying to start a movement, but I don't know how to start a movement with all the other things I have going on. But it was 20% by the year 2020, which was I wanted 20% of the population to become vegan by the year 2020. I may have overshot it by a decade, but I think by 2030, everyone's going to be vegan, even like down to because I knew as soon as athletes started becoming vegan, it was going to really start popping off because that's what I noticed as well. My athletic ability, I didn't lose any physical, like I could lift as much and I felt better. I felt younger. And as soon as athletes start doing it, everyone's going to start doing it.
Yes.
Especially weightlifters. Once they get over the whole, oh, you need
Yeah,
protein, they're going to start cutting with a vegan diet. It's just the best way to cut is just to be vegan for a couple months.
Right.
So yeah, I see a lot of big things happening in the horizon.
Yep.
so do you have any questions for us?
Where are you? Where you guys? You guys are based out of New Jersey, right?
Yeah, actually, our founder had started this in New York, and now he has also moved to New Jersey. So our official headquarters is in Paterson, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, I had tried to get you in touch with him.
Yeah,
Uh,
we've been
yeah,
knowing each other for a while. We've been
yeah, yeah. But he lives somewhere near Weehawken or someplace like. It's called Guttenberg. He lives in Guttenberg, but his family business is in Paterson. So our official headquarters is in Paterson. But I live in Edison, and Kalindi lives somewhere in
I'm in
uh,
northern New Jersey. I'm in Bergen County.
yeah, Bergen County, and
So
we have
it's mostly in New York and New Jersey area,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
we have a chapter. We have a big chapter in New York, that is Long Island, and we also have a chapter in two chapters in India, and one chapter in Ohio, which is pretty dormant actually.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah,
Bigger than Try Vegan by a long shot.
yeah, actually, but
So,
your mailing list is bigger than ours. So
but I mean, the mission is to, it's mostly we have physicians. Our president is a physician, and he is a big, he is himself is vegan, and we promote veganism of course, for the planet, for the animal welfare, but a lot of it is like we focus on health, health, medical conditions. So Avinash can tell more about it. The focus is try to reach out to more
Yeah,
people.
actually, our organization started as a vegetarian
Right.
organization. Its name was Vegetarian Vision. And from 1992 to 2017, it was Vegetarian Vision. But from 2018, when we opened the New Jersey chapter, we changed over to World Vegan Vision.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
If you guys ever need, if you ever have any physicians that want to help their patients eat more vegan meals, we could definitely, I can, give them a discount, or we could work.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll send you an email, and I'll put you in touch with Dr. Srenik Shah. His practice is in Bloomfield. So if you ever go to Bloomfield
Mhm.
for delivery or something, just stop by. He's a nice guy to talk to.
Sure.
Yeah, and I guess that meeting personally will make better a better chance than by email. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah. Give me some information. I'll
Yeah, sure. Even by phone will be better.
Awesome.
Yeah. There is also a doctor in Princeton. It's a plant-based practice, and they actually organize dinners before the pandemic.
In Skillman?
I don't know where exactly, but it was in Princeton area.
Yeah, I've
And
been there a few times.
they
Doctor,
had
I haven't been there in years though.
monthly dinners, and
Oh.
the dinners were free for the patients of the practice,
Mhm.
and others were supposed to contribute like $10-15, something like that. I don't know, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a potluck, I believe. You have to bring in.
Yeah.
Everyone
No,
brings.
it was in a restaurant, I think, or some. It was in a restaurant, I think. I mean, if I go back in veg events a year ago, then maybe I can find it.
Sure.
Hopefully we can. I also have a vegan business, and I have been also in the business since 2015. So hopefully, we can connect one of the days.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask about what you have going on. I had no idea you also ran a vegan business.
Yes, we were based out of Brooklyn. We were mostly, in the city, serving New York City boroughs and northern New Jersey. And then from the city we moved to New York, to Jersey, and I have actually downsized quite a bit because just the sheer uh, amount of work involved in that. Plus, I'm like sort of branching out to other avenues, trying to get into CPG. Um, Fresh meals is a little complicated math, as you are in the business, so
Sure.
So we're trying different, something. I'm always up, just like life of an entrepreneur, right? In winter months or months that you think that that those are the months you just sort of like come up with new things. Even the pandemic last year, so many new things that I did, and I found that maybe there's so many avenues that are actually you need to I felt like something new things could be explored there. So getting into education, educating more people more about vegan diet, about plant-based lifestyle, opening up more, that opens more doors. So doing a lot of different things. But yes, we do prepared vegan meals too, so hopefully we can connect offline.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so
I like the color of the Travigan trucks too. I wonder what made you choose that color. Usually people will go for a green or something like that. But in New York City, the green trucks are selling marijuana cookies nowadays.
are you doing desserts, Vincent?
I haven't.
Vegan desserts?
I was at one point. I haven't done them in a while, but on the truck I will. And funny enough, the trucks actually came that color of red. So
Oh,
So
okay.
you didn't change the color. You just came with that color. Oh.
I didn't have the money to. So I just I
Yeah,
whacked.
but it's a very eye-catching color.
Thank you. Thanks.
I first saw it in Edison in the Raritan Center. There was some kind of veg expo.
Right.
I saw it right there
Yeah. Yeah. Edison Veg
a couple
Fest.
of years ago. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Vincent, once again, thank you so much for your time
It was a
today.
pleasure.
And it was a great pleasure speaking with you and knowing about the journey of Try Vegan.
Absolutely. Thanks for
We
having me.
will stay connected with you and please see you someday
And
and try
if
Vegan.
you
I would have to
if
come
you
down there.
if
Great.
you find time to do any kind of activism or something like that, or even advise us, you are welcome to contact us anytime.
Great. Same. Absolutely. We'll be in touch.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Take it easy.